This Pentagon leak represents the largest breach of U.S. military intelligence in roughly a decade. Hi, I'm John Haltwanger. I'm a political correspondent at Insider. The vast majority of the documents that have been put out there are about Ukraine and also expose the extent to which the U.S. has been able to gather intelligence on Russia. This leak is embarrassing for the U.S. government for a number of reasons. First of all, it raises questions about why do so many people in this country have top secret clearance? There are millions of people in the country across various levels of government who have some level of security clearance. It's embarrassing because the U.S. is part of intelligence sharing agreements with other allies, including the Five Eyes group. Five Eyes group is an intelligence sharing group of 5 English-speaking countries: the U.S., the U.K., New Zealand, Australia, and Canada. Now, these countries have essentially agreed that because they are allies and they have shared national interest, that they will share intelligence with one another. Now that this has happened, those countries could be wary of sharing intelligence with the US that could help it safeguard its national security, because they might think, well, if we share this intelligence with Washington, they're not very good at protecting their intelligence. It could be exposed to the public, and we don't want that. It's not just embarrassing, but startling and frightening for the US government. And that's why we've seen reports that officials at the Pentagon are in panic mode, and they're really trying to figure out, what can we do to prevent this in the future? What can we do to make our allies confident that it's not going to happen again? The Biden administration has been very reluctant to comment on whether or not these documents are authentic. For example, there was one document that got shared on Russian Telegram channels that appeared to be altered. A suspect was arrested in connection with the leak. His name is Jack Teixeira. He is a 21-year-old Air National Guardsman from Massachusetts. Teixeira had top secret clearance. He worked as an IT specialist as part of an intelligence wing in the Massachusetts Air National Guard. So that means he had access to a whole breadth of information. Essentially seems that Teixeira was a young man who was very enthusiastic about video gaming, about guns, about religion. He was taking photographs of these printed documents. In some cases, that offered some very revealing information. He shared these documents in a private group on Discord. He was sharing this with a small group of people. I think roughly 25 people were in the group. And it doesn't seem as though he intended for these documents to be shared across the internet. But that's what happened. We're also seeing, however, some far-right figures in the US, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, people who have taken a stance against continued support to Ukraine, are kind of rushing to the defense of this suspected leaker and portraying him as as some people in the past have portrayed people like Julian Assange or Edward Snowden as these brave whistleblowers who are exposing truth. But it's important to note that reporting shows that friends of Teixeira have said that he didn't intend for these documents to get spread across the internet. So far, other countries that have been mentioned in these leaks, they've publicly attempted to downplay the significance, which makes sense. Governments don't want to cause panic or make a big deal out of this sort of thing because it's uncomfortable for them too. I think the biggest story surrounding these leaks is the leak itself. The U.S. intelligence apparatus is massive. It's considered widely to be the most sophisticated in the world. So the larger question is then, how does such a sophisticated intelligence apparatus fail to safeguard its secrets? Why is it so good at gathering information, but why is it so bad at protecting that information? And that's kind of the big story here. And that's the question that the U.S. is going to have to continue to answer as we learn more about what's happened here.